We're here in Julian, California with the 2018 Hyundai Sonata and the chief designer for Hyundai Design North America, Chris Chapman, who led the design of this car. It's a refresh, but Chris, you guys have taken the refresh to a whole new place.
Yeah, it's a major refresh, and when people think of a refresh, they think only it's the front bumper and the rear bumper, maybe some things that are happening, a little bit of chrome or things like that, but it's amazing what can be done actually in the profile of the car and the stance of the car when you do something like that. So what we did here is we extended the hood of the car in this area right here, really to kind of give a more upright kind of stance to the nose of the car. Before it was like a sloped nose and it has this sort of lean back kind of a feel. And by bringing that nose kind of more prominently forward, it lengthens the car, it makes the hood a little bit longer, and it gives this more assertive kind of a stance to the vehicle.
Slightly aggressive.
Yeah, and then when we get to the rear end of the car, you'll see it as it sort of lean forward as well. So we kind of like to think about it as a sprinter running, just being caught frozen freeze frame right out of the blocks. And when they leap out of the box, their head goes up immediately as well. And it's that frozen shot of the car that drew inspiration for the vehicle.
So to give the forward motion.
Exactly, yeah. And one of the other things we did was we brought the energy of the car towards the middle of the car in sort of a one-third, one-third, one-third breakup in terms of verticality instead of horizontal. Normally what you do with a car is you've got an array with a headlight, a grille, a headlight across the top. Then there's a traditional area where the bumper exists below it, which is a horizontal band, and then below that is sort of the air intakes. And it's a very, very traditional architectural layout to the car. We wanted to destroy that and bring sort of an emphasis and a spirit towards our new Cascade grille, which is what you can see here, coming off of our hex grille and an evolution of the hex grille into the Cascade, which is sort of inspired by the power and the energy and the emotion of molten, liquid formed steel.
So basically, the grille on the Sonata has rather prominently been displayed over the last couple of generations. You guys have taken that and accentuated it through the utilization of.
We pulled it forward, we brought it towards the middle. All of the lines here, the classic Sonata line from the chrome coming from the belt line into the headlight and then boomeranging around the bottom. Very slim, technically oriented headlight. Everything is pointing at the grille and bringing that sort of celebration of that power in the middle of the car. Okay, so all the lines kind of create there.
So I mean, talk to us about this body side, that you made some modifications here as well, and we're seeing a new roof line.
Sonata has always been known to be like one of the first, if not the first, four-door coupe kind of proportion in a front-wheel drive car is especially. So for us, it was really important to package the car with all the occupants towards the front, taking advantage of the front-wheel drive sort of layout, right? And then this sort of lovely long, what we call a three-window setup in terms of the daylight opening in the side. This is something you don't see on a lot of vehicles. Very coupe-like line stretching back all the way where the C-pillar comes far back here. And then the DLO line, if you notice, it sort of ends at the rear tire. And this is something that really elongates the car and really celebrates its length and gives them a little bit more elegant feel. The character line here, I call it the saber line. It's sort of this where you have a sword or a saber fight or whatever, and they lunge forward, and as soon as the saber hits contact or whatever, it bows and it bends. And from the rear three-quarter shot of the car, you can really see that. And that in conjunction with that wonderful Sonata signature element of that chrome going into the headlight sort of juxtaposes those two lines together.
So what you're trying to do here is to truly accentuate not only the front end of the car, but the whole forward motion of the vehicle.
Exactly. Again, that stance of that runner that's just out of the blocks. And by coming around to the rear, you can kind of see that we really cleaned up the back end of the car. One of the things you notice really quickly is that we moved the license plate from in this area here down to the lower part. And what that ended up doing was, for one, cleaning up the area, making it really unique and wonderfully elegant, I feel. But at the same time, this whole sort of angle of attack that happens from here all the way down to the bumper is leaned forward. So when you look at that in conjunction with the front of the car, the whole thing is sort of like ready to go and it's prone, right?
And I think one of the things you've done is this is both crisp and clean without being overly sharp.
Yeah, and I think that when you have like these little chrome details in here that kind of add a little bit of like that bling element, but it's not overstated. We wanted to make sure that we had a fairly slim headlight and taillight array that kind of pointed at the direction of precision and high tech.
Okay, one more thing before we go. I've got to ask you about the rear backup camera. Now, ordinarily it might be stuck here or here. You guys did something completely different.
Yeah, we didn't really want to muck it up back here. We did such a nice job with the sculpture. We brought, again, the energy and the harmony from the front to the back of the car with the lines coming around to the middle, and it sort of breaks this car up into that third. So this was sort of this undisturbed sheet metal, what I love to call about undisturbed sheet metal here. We've got the nameplate, the badge. You would normally typically see like a dot there or something connected to the badge. We put the rear view camera down up underneath here to kind of, you know, hide it a little bit and let us celebrate the simplicity of the rear.
So there's nothing that you guys didn't take into account in the redesign of this car. I mean, it's really a nice job that you've done.
Gesturally, organizationally, the lines are really wonderfully flowing. Again, we're taking from our original fluidic sculpture and we're evolving it into the future.
Chris Chapman, 2018 Hyundai Sonata. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
All right.